Kia ora koutou, welcome back. Last week I tested a new trading strategy on paper, using the 9 EMA for entries, scaling profits at key levels, and keeping discipline front and centre. In a wild week in the market, from small wins on MBOT and OCTO to a massive $500 day on AEHL and CCTG, to one of my worst red days breaking my own rules. But overall, I still closed the week green with $719 profit on paper. Let's break it down day by day. So this week did pretty well, mostly green. There's one big red day on Thursday, which after Wednesday, which was my biggest day of the week, did over $500 on Wednesday. I got a bit greedy on Thursday and broke some of my rules and ended up having a big red day. Not massive, and then recovered that on Friday pretty well. So I was pretty happy with that. But if we break it down, I traded MBOT on Monday and OCTO. Unfortunately, it was before OCTO actually took off. It was earlier on in the session. But still traded my strategy pretty well and scaled out. MBOT in at 485 and scaled out at 498, 506, and then as it came back down, 498 again on the last 50 shares on that trade. OCTO was sort of similar, 315 out at 327. So with these lower price stocks, basically I have 10 cents. I take my first profit at 10 cents above my entry. My second profit level is around 20 cents above, and then my third final one is at 30 cents. So I'm scaling out at 10 cents each one, and my stop is between 10 and 15 cents below here. But as soon as I hit my second profit target, then I move my stop up to the entry at 315. That's sort of the strategy I'm trading at the moment. I'm trying this out to see how it goes, and it's doing okay actually. I feel more confident trading it, and I've found it's quite easy to do, and because I'm scaling out as it's going up, I have less anxiety about holding things and trying to figure out when it's going to reverse and stuff like that. I found that it's psychologically, for me, a better way of trading. So it's been good. AEHL on what was that, Wednesday? Didn't trade on Tuesday. This was a bit different, higher price stock. Those profit takes were a bit further out, but this went pretty quickly anyway, from $20.42 to $21.92. 22.58 was my second profit target on AEHL, and 23.36 I took my final exit, so that was pretty good. And then on the second trade on AEHL, I was in at 17.31, out at 18.36, 18.17 and 17.75. So that pushed up pretty quickly to over 18, and I actually scaled out as it came back down. And same with CCTG, in at 409. This is probably a better representation of sort of the pricing. It went up just over 10 cents, got out at 422, out at 481 as it pushed even higher, it broke up to 481 and then 483. So I might actually show that one. CCTG was a pretty good trade. If I can find it here. Is that the time it was? What was that time? That was at 5:43, 10th of September, 5:43. Yeah, here it is, around here. So, and my entry was 422. So I was in here at 5:43, 422 as it broke up above this green candle here. break that first green candle. I took my first exit at 422. Actually, 409 was my entry here. 409, out at 422 here, and then as it pushed up here over 480, I was out at 483 up here, and then again at 481 and 483 was both up here. So did well to take my profit off the table there as it pushed up, broke through that previous high, and then it reversed back down. I could have held that third longer and waited to see what it did if it did push back up, but it had gone a fair distance, and you know, I thought, well, no, that was a good profit take there, so I just took it off the table. After that, it didn't really do much, so it was okay. Thursday was a different story. GMM, this popped up and I got in at 636, took two profit takes, 667 and 683, and then I held. It dropped back below 636 and I doubled down at 579, and that was a big mistake, way outside my actual rules for my trading strategy. Not meant to double down, and was meant to take that last third of that first trade off the table at 636. So if I bring that up, this was not great. Where are we? Here we go. So this had spiked up and I was looking for it to hold here at the 9 EMA and then rally back up. It kind of rallied off the 20 EMA and pushed back up to over the 9 EMA, but it couldn't break VWAP. So I actually got in here, I'm pretty sure it was 409. It was pretty out just after pre-market open. GNM, actually I'll just bring that up, GNM. Yep, so 636 at 14. So in at 14 here at around 636. So I was in around here, around the 9 EMA, looking for it to hold and push higher. It didn't, it pulled back. I held through this pullback and it did hold the 20 EMA, pushed up, and I started taking my profit here as it pushed up to $7 back to the VWAP. And so that was at 667 as it pushed over here, 667, 680, what was it, 683, 683. And as it came back down here, I should have really taken the profit off the table completely. As it came down to, even down here at 656, it came back to the 9 EMA. I could take my profit off there, drop back down to my entry point, which I definitely should have been taking it off. And before you know it, it had dipped. And this is the thing. This is the psychology I still fall into the habit of doing is, oh, it's dipped down below where I'm meant to stop out. Oh, I'm going to see if it pops back up. And so I held. And then I thought, actually, it might push back from the 20 EMA. So I doubled down and bought another 150 shares at 579. It didn't rally at all. In fact, I think I held it for quite a while. How long did I hold it for? I held it for 25 minutes. That last 50 shares I held for 25 minutes and eventually gave up as it broke down to 431 and took the exit. So on that day, which was the 11th, on that day I took a loss of 166.50. I did make some of that back after that on HAO and WLDS. Took some OK trades, and MOGU I took, but I also took another loss on MOGO doing the same thing. I I sold my first two, got my first two profit targets, and took profit there, and that was fine. 41 cents a share, 52 cents a share, and then I held the last 50 shares for a $1.22 a share loss. It was $61. So I only lost 20 bucks on that in the end, but you know, if I'd stuck to my rules and got out at, you know, where I was meant to, then that would have been a, you know, if I'd got out at 685, then that would have been a profitable trade. Last one would have been break even, but with those two being green, then I would have gotten out with around $40, $46. So yeah, not good on MOGE. And the last day, 12th, I did $299.50. Did take a loss on ADXN, similar sort of thing. I didn't get out at my stop. Can't remember if that was because it dumped or if it was just me holding actually. Might have been because it dumped, but anyway, still didn't get out in time. And really, you can see here, I'm selling my first lot at a loss at 14. So I should have been selling the rest at 14. Should have sold the lot there. So that was, yeah, not well managed. BGSF, I did pretty well. That was a good trade on that one. MGIH, I shouldn't have traded at all. I traded that earlier in the week and lost on it, and it just, yeah, it was a silly trade. Wasn't actually in play when I took that trade. VSTD, these were kind of different. I just jumped in these and then decided not to take them and got out with a small profit by just selling the whole lot. And GCTK as well. This was a bit different. This sort of pushed up, and before I knew it, I was up over $1 a share. So I just took it all off the table at once, and I did that twice, although the second time was only up 50 cents. And then the third time, it didn't go as far, but I scaled out of that one. Yeah, pretty well. And then the last one pushed all the way up to $1.11 cents per share. So that was a good profit take on that third one. This one here, I didn't actually realize I was in there for 50 shares and took a loss on that, but that was pretty much it. GCTK was a really good stock that on Friday, and that was probably the reason why I did so well on that day. Yeah, $299.50 on that day, 6 stocks traded, and yeah, 12 wins over 5 losses. So for the week, total profit of 719, and I traded 14 stocks, price range between $1.86 to around $20, $21. So it was a good week. In the end, I think I did pretty well trading my strategy. Most of the time, although the day after I had a big win, I took that big loss, and I think I was just overconfident in what I was doing, and that just shows you when you step outside your strategy, step outside what you're meant to be doing, your rules, you're going to take a loss. Well, bigger opportunity to take a loss, I guess. So probably, you know, that discipline really matters more than getting my entries right and my exits. You know, that sort of thing. It's sticking within the strategy and your rules. And, you know, I won when I stuck to my rules, and I lost when I held my losers, and, you know, I just gave it all back. And when I stepped outside my rules, that's just what kind of happened. My mentality or my attitude changed towards my trading when I stepped outside my rules, and then I kind of made excuses in my head. Oh, it's going to come back, or it's going to do this, it's going to do that, and that's when I took those big losses. So I really got to work on that, and that's kind of why I'm paper trading this strategy before I go live. Even though it worked out in the end overall, which is what it's meant to do, there were definitely days or trades in there that I took that just showed that I'm not quite ready to step back live yet. If you found this recap helpful, hit that like button and subscribe. I am not quite at the point where I want to refund my account, but I will post breakdowns to stay accountable and to show the ups and downs of learning this craft. Drop a comment below if you want me to break down one of these setups in detail for the next video. Until then, stay disciplined, stick to your plan and trade safe. I'll see you next time. Hei a koe nei.